Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for supporting me, guys. Gervonta Davis calls out Shakur Stevenson for being two-faced. The boxing megastars could be setting themselves up for one of the best fights ever. In the sport of boxing, building hype for fights is an essential part of the business, and as beating every opponent that steps in your way. That's why, by combining the two, Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson are considered superstars, and two of the biggest names in the game today. Davis and Stevenson had been in good terms for years and even sparred together, but that honeymoon phase appears to be over. On the $1 million worth of game podcast, Davis joined and spoke about Stevenson's seemingly different demeanor in person and on social media. He throws shots that want to be buddy-buddy, saying all this stuff on Twitter, then running into my locker room and wanting to take a picture and all that type of stuff. He's got to stand on that when I cool no more. That's why I'm in this mode. I ain't got no friends on this. Don't go on the internet say I wouldn't dare step in the ring with you. That's disrespectful. It's clear Davis feels a little bit rubbed the wrong way by Stevenson. It could end up leading to a big-ticket fight between the two undefeated boxers in the future. What's next for Davis and Stevenson? At 28 years old, Tank is in the prime of his career, cemented by his most recent performance in April. A standout win via knockout against Ryan Garcia, arguably the tallest test today for Davis. The 26-year-old Stevenson also fought in April, defeating Shichiro Yoshino in the 6th round via technical knockout and handing the Japanese fighter his first ever loss. Stevenson doesn't currently have a fight scheduled. He might be waiting to see what Davis' next move is first. Former unified welterweight champion Keith Thurman has seen his highs and lows, although the only loss came at the hands of the legendary Manny Pacquiao back in 2019. He has not been able to make a strong footing in the division. However, this might all change as One Time looks to make a return to the squared circle this year. Despite the challenges posed by a lengthy period of inactivity, Thurman remains determined to reclaim his position among boxing's elite. Also recently given his take on the upcoming bout between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. In addition, the former champion also has admiration for fellow fighters such as Deontay Wilder, Pernell Whitaker and Gervonta Davis, all of whom he feels are similar to him stylistically. Keith Thurman reveals similarities between him, Gervonta Davis and Deontay Wilder. In recent periods, Thurman's passion for the sweet science is evident in his admiration for fighters who embody raw power and ferocity. Reflecting on his own journey, he draws parallels to the titanic force of the one-time knockout punch. Observing the meteoric rise of Davis and Wilder, Thurman found himself captivated by Tank and the Bronze Bombers' relentless pursuit to land a KO blow. Wilder's ability to deliver bone-crushing blows and send opponents crashing resonated deeply with Thurman. The notion of one time became a mantra for Thurman, a symbol of the exhilarating rush that comes with landing a fight-ending blow. They rock you, they shock you, and that's what a tank's all about. And I love it, you know? And One Time was similar for me, who was doing the who embodies that one-time KO punch. Of course, I grew up embodying that. Then I saw Deontay Wilder, and I thought that was the definition of one time. I don't know if I never known the definition. One time, you see the monster land the punch. Okay, so. And once again, Bronze Bomber, boom boom. It's in the title, he said. Who is the currently bad boy of boxing? Mike Tyson gives his take. Iron Mike has named Gervonta Davis as the bad boy of boxing. Tank has been out of the ring since his clash with Ryan Garcia in April. There, he scored a knockout win over King Rai, the biggest victory of his career. Following the fight, pay-per-view estimates came in at 1.2 million buys, showing that he is one of the biggest stars in the sport. 4 weeks following the fight, many praised the lightweight champion as the biggest star of the sport. Sadly, Davis, who has dealt with many legal troubles in his career, broke the term of his probation. As a result, he is currently sitting in a jail cell on a 90-day sentence. Mike Tyson believes Gervonta Davis could one day be the face of boxing. However, the heavyweight believes that Tank is already the bad boy of the sport. That tag was commonly thrown around about Iron Mike in the 90s as well, as he was in as many fights outside the ring as he was in it. In a recent edition of his Hot Boxing podcast, the heavyweight legend stated, Gervonta Davis, he is the bad boy of boxing. He is a monster, and his boxing skills are better than he is being given credit for, Iron Mike said. Is Shakur Stevenson a real threat to Devin Haney's undisputed title? Everything he needs to know about the controversy brewing between boxing titans over the king. It was his third climb up in a 7-year-long career, but Shakur Stevenson left no doubts about his preparedness for the big league as he dispatched Japan's Shichiro Yoshino in the 6th round. Understandably, the first victory in the 135 pounds perhaps sounded the bugle call to many stakeholders in the division. Among those who saw the red flag, Devin Haney fresh off a second, albeit a dubious, title defense. A lack of clarity remains on the genuineness, or it is mere testing waters, but as it stands, the undisputed champion appears to have shot at the first salvo at the new entrant with an offer. He lacks big chases in his resume, however Shakur Stevenson remains clear that it's not something he will fall for that easily. The entire series of changes happen net in the public domain. The Haney's bunker offer to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson reported receiving an offer from Devin Haney a few days ago. It seems the fight proposal entailed him attempting a 25% shot in the deal, but the Newark, New Jersey-born boxer barely got unhinged, taking to Twitter while responding to a post that questioned his credentials against Haney. He said, "Get off my ass, I don't think I'm the ace I just know my worth, and 25% I indeed, and I did not turn the fight down either. That was supposedly be the first offer, I haven't heard none else since." Let's fans forget, news came about on both Haney and Stevenson ending up at the same party last month. If the reports are to be believed, the latter had a bottle sent to the Dream alongside a board with signed a contract right over. Why is Haney accused of dodging Stevenson? Reportedly, several lines of thought believe the latest 75-25 offer might as well be a ploy from the Californian that Stevenson would reject, as could be expected. According to an article in Boxing News, Devin Haney might want to strike gold once Gervonta Davis returns. As against Sugar, a fight with Tank might guarantee a 15 million to 20 million purse, a rank outsider in the division. Shakur Stevenson, many believe, has to face a few big names before calling shots in the 8-figure payday. Stevenson now stands as a WBC contender against Devin Haney. It remains to be seen whether the latter decides to take the bull by the horns and defend his title or vacate the undisputed throne completely and move to 140, as he said it many times. According to the article, Stevenson's rejection offers a clear alibi for Haney to walk away without sullying his name and record. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.